Hey, this is your boy Tek, and you're now listening to The Encouragers Show.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to the Encourager Podcast Show. We got a lot to talk about in today's show. Today is officially our, first podcast of the new year?
Yep, first one, 2020.
We've had a few guests on our show. So I'm going to give you guys a background, a little bit of what happened. I had a hard drive that had all our shows on it. So we had recorded like 6 episodes. And so the month of, I can't remember, March or April, or what was it, our last show? I think it was after Veronica was on. When we had Veronica on, my hard drive crashed. So I lost everything. I lost all our shows. And so I couldn't, I'm in charge of editing and putting the shows together, and I lost everything. Not just our Encouragers podcast show, but I lost all my other footage. Like stuff that I shot. I went to a Nipsey Hussle funeral. Lost all that footage. Went to some other stuff. Another funeral. Lost all that footage for that family. Through the grace of God and through the technology hard drive people at Seagate, thank you, Seagate, then we were able to recover all our data back. And now just catching up on getting our podcast shows back onto the air for y'all to listen to and rock with. And
But now we're back.
That's right. Now we're back.
Yes, we are.
But,
So the beginning of the year, man.
yeah.
Anything exciting planned for the year? Got some goals set? Every year everybody set new goals.
Yeah, we should be past the first phase. Some people should have already fizzled out, right? They should already have fizzled out. So right now in the month of February, if you're going strong still, then you're probably most likely going to keep going strong, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, man, no, I don't have any specific goals. I know one of my main goals is to buy property. That's about me. What about you, Joe?
One of my goals is just to, two of them is one, the first thing is to just be proficient with coding. We had someone on our podcast last year who works for Credit Karma, who's a DevOps designer, and my brother-in-law does coding as well, and they're both very successful, so I figured I'd give it a try. So I'm still learning how to do that, and I'm still in the beginning phases, so that's something I want to continue to consistently work on this year, and hopefully try to get as many certificates as I can, and maybe transition and do that outside of what I'm doing now. And also along the lines with what Notis said, real estate is something that's been done for hundreds of years, and it's never going anywhere. It's only going to continue to grow. So I just want to learn more about that and maybe get another property as well myself. And I want to leave something for my kids too. And there's no better time to start now. So those are some things that I'm working on this year as well.
That's what's up. How about yourself, Tek? Any goals for you, man?
Man, I've been looking into the e-commerce business, bro. I've been, because that's a big market right there. Everybody's buying stuff online these days. They don't even want to leave their house. So
Yeah,
they just want everything shipped to them. They don't even want to go into stores. Nowadays, you can just pull up to a store and they'll bring out your shopping.
Yeah.
That's what I've been looking into is the e-commerce business, trying to get stuff to sell on Amazon and all that stuff. And that's pretty much it. Because what people don't realize is that there's a lot of opportunity out there, man.
Wow.
Not just to work 9 to 5. You guys looking into real estate. I'm in the e-commerce business. There's a lot of opportunities out there. You just got to go out and do it.
Yeah, like when we talk with Tonga with his cards, right? Sports cards.
Yeah.
That's another side income that you can get into, right?
Yeah, I started doing it too right after that podcast with them. And I've actually seen some pretty good income come out of it, But I'm a hoarder, so I don't want to sell none of it. So it's doing me no good right now.
yeah.
How many Patrick Mahomes? How many? If you guys don't know, Tek Tek is a big time Chiefs fan. Chiefs Kingdom fan. They all.
Oh yeah.
They just recently won the Super Bowl. Congratulations, Tek and Joe.
Yeah,
Joe
congrats, Tech. Hey,
Congrats.
I consider
You know-
myself a Chiefs fan, but I still,
you live there.
I still rock with the Niners, man. I live out here, so I gotta, root for them too.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been waiting 50 years for this, man. I'm 40 years old, and I've been waiting 50 years for this.
Oh, not the 50 years. Oh, yeah. Well, no, freaking, what's his name? Andy Reid.
Yeah.
No, but it was a good win. It was a great game, though. Man, I was on the edge of my seat the whole game, and then the fourth quarter, I couldn't even sit down.
Man.
I was just standing up, pacing myself around the room.
Oh, my gosh.
But it was an exciting game. It was a very good game.
Yeah, it was.
From the very beginning. What about, there's been a lot of talk about, since we're on the top of the Super Bowl and the Chiefs winning it, what about the halftime show and the commercials? What were you guys thinking about all that?
I loved it. I'm not even going to front. It was awesome. It was a lot better than last year's. It really was. And there are a lot of people that are upset that a 50-year-old and a 47-year-old lady were out there doing their thing. Nobody was complaining when the lead singer from Maroon 5 had his shirt off and he was drenched in water. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't have it both ways, Either enjoy the show or not, I loved it. I thought it was great. And it was awesome.
Yeah. What about you, Tek? How'd you like it?
I thought it was a good show. I think that it wasn't the greatest, but it was a good show. But just like Joe said, I mean, all these people getting a little offended about what the clothes they were wearing. Adam Levine had his shirt off. He was half naked last year.
Double standard,
And,
right?
and they didn't have nothing to say about it. But now Jennifer Lopez and Shakira was half, they had bathing suits on, but still.
Mm-hmm. It was like a gown almost, and they had like lining, like the nude lining in there, so it wasn't like naked.
Yeah, it's the same kind of costume every performer wears. Female performer wears at a concert.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty much the same thing. So I don't know what made a difference from the halftime show and the regular concert.
I just feel like a lot of people there's always going to be people that are going to complain about everything,
Yeah.
I mean, either you liked it or you didn't, I thought it was cool. And they're in Miami. There's a huge Latin population down there. If they're trying to sell more tickets to fans who live there in Miami, why not have, a Latin person, people sing, So
But they
did the right thing.
Yeah.
But they didn't have nobody from the 305 there. Nobody from Miami.
Dude, they didn't. They didn't have Rick Ross.
That's what surprised me.
Well, how about the Spanish dudes? They weren't from Miami. The Spanish company people, they weren't like the.
I don't even know.
I didn't even know who they were.
I didn't even know.
Yeah, I had no idea. I was hoping like Rick Ross or Trick Daddy or somebody was going to come out, but nobody did.
Yeah, that was interesting. Myself personally, I enjoyed the Super Bowl halftime show. I enjoyed it only because there was none other than accomplished choreographer and artist by the name of Paris Goebel. Goebel, she was, not too many people know she's from New Zealand and she's half Samoan and Maori, right? So she was one of the main choreographers for the halftime show, and she worked personally with J-Lo on her set. I'm not sure who worked with Shakira, but I thought she did a phenomenal job, not only representing Polynesian people, but like giving a platform for Polynesian people to also dance in there. There's a few Samoan dancers, and then there was a few other people from New Zealand that were in there repping. But that goes to show that she man, it's just a big thing for her to like represent Polynesian on that stage and platform.
Oh yeah, I didn't know that she was Samoan and Fiji. Is it?
Kiwi. Samoan.
Kiwi?
Samoan and New Zealand are Maori. Yep.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yep, straight up. For me personally, that's why I enjoyed the Super Bowl halftime show, is because her and other Polynesians were in there.
Yeah, that's a big come up for her to go from America's Best Dance Crew to biggest stage in the world.
Shoot, Paris, if you're listening to this, we'd love to have you on the show. So we're not just talking about you. We would like to pick your brain and talk to you. You know, you're big an inspiration to me, just on the creative tip alone. But anyhow,
Back to what brought us to the Super Bowl, the Patrick Mahomes card. I got like
yes.
5 of them.
What? You got
Yeah.
five? Dude, that's the lead. Man, you got like 5G sitting in your house right there.
A little over.
Yeah.
I think they're about 12, 13 a piece right now.
Holy
Dang, man.
crap.
Yeah. And they're probably only going to go up because they just barely won the Super Bowl and he's MVP.
That's double.
So,
yeah.
yeah. So it'd only go up from there.
So how do you keep your card? Do you keep them in a safe or something? Do you have a safe? Do you keep them?
That is confidential.
Judging by the rotation of your room, I'm gonna say you're in.
He's like, don't worry about where it's at, dude.
I'm trying to pinpoint where you stay in Salt Lake so I can come. But yeah, that's dope, Tek. That's side income. Side income.
Yeah. You know, it just all started from that podcast with Tonga, you know. He told us about the money he's been doing with cards, and I just tried it.
Yeah.
And so far, it's been good. Most of it's gambling, but other than that, it's you know, because what you want to do is find out who's balling, and if you're good at watching sports, you want to buy the cards that you think that will be ballers in the future.
Really?
So because right now they're cheap. So if they're ball in the future, that card is only going to go up.
So Zion Williamson, you know, NBA here. That dude is he on fire right now then? Because I remember his cards just not even when he didn't even suit up yet. It was hot, like, right? It was pretty hot.
Oh yeah, even before he got drafted, his card was on fire. Everybody wanted his cards. Yeah. But I went the other way and I chased it after Ja Morant.
Oh.
That guy's killing it.
Yeah, I think he's going to be Rookie of the Year.
Morant?
Yeah. Ja Morant.
Where's he from? Where's he out of?
He's with the Grizzlies.
Yeah, he's with the Grizzlies right now. He reminded me of Iverson when I watched him play. And that's why I liked him, because Iverson's one of my favorite players. So that's why I started chasing Ja Morant, but his card's just doing pretty good.
Nice.
It'll be better if he wins a championship.
Yeah.
But like I said, I'm a hoarder, so it's just sitting there. I don't want to sell it.
Yeah. That's what's up.
Rainy day, man. Rainy day.
I hear you, man.
But there's a lot of opportunities out there for everybody, you know? Just gotta do it.
Yeah, I was looking into trucking. Part of the being exposed to Eric Thomas, the 9 to 5 millionaire Jamal King, is that they have friends in other like avenues, entrepreneurs and other avenues. And one of the people that I seen was this dude named Alex Good Energy. Props to him. There's a thing about being able to start up your own trucking company, having your own trucks. Yeah, and I don't know. His name is Alex ALIX _ Good Energy. You can find him on Instagram. But he talks about getting into trucking as another stream of revenue income. And so I was just been looking at that. But man, there's so much out there, like you were saying, Tek. But find one and just gotta execute on it, I guess.
Yeah, so that's what it is, being consistent.
Yeah. With everything.
Anything you do, be consistent.
I think that was one thing that I struggled with before we started the podcast, was actually putting myself out there and trusting in myself that I could, follow through. But since starting the podcast and kind of doing the, speaking into existence type thing, when we message each other on text, it just makes it easier because I know that I'm not the only one doing it. We're kind of keeping each other kind of like in that zone, like, hey, I'm doing this, dude, that's awesome, keep going. What is it that you're doing? And that's one thing that I really appreciate about our text group, because we keep each other accountable. Two, we're always there to kind of keep each other in check, like, hey man, even though it's not working out, keep going. And that's something that I'm really grateful for, and why I'm glad we're doing the podcast is that there are other people out there who are trying to find that same motivation. And I hope that as they listen to us or watch us, that they kind of see us and say, well, I can do it too. They're doing it, they're just like me. So that's pretty cool.
I feel like our text group and our system here that we got going is like an accountability partner. We have 4 other people besides ourselves where we're able to feed off of, share ideas and get feedback from, and I think that's a good thing.
I got a goal just to make it back to the homeland, back to the motherland this year.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm planning to go in June. So that's my biggest goal right now.
That's what's up. Gonna go get you an island queen over there, bro.
Yeah, get you an island queen.
No, man. Just go give me some land, some real estate.
You going to Notis?
I want to do the dual citizenship. If any of our listeners know how to do the dual citizenship for back home, for being a citizen of the United States and in Tonga, please let us know, because we want to claim our lands. I don't know what the laws are right now, but you guys know anything about the laws of land? And
I have no idea, but I want to go do it just to get it done.
I know from talking with Tek's uncle that he has quite a bit of land in Tonga. So if you ladies, any of you single ladies, know this. Tek's plan is to build a resort like Trump out there, man. Build some homes on his land. It's really, really beautiful land. It's right next to the ocean. He has a beachfront, and it's huge. Huge, a lot of land.
I don't have that, man.
Instead of it saying Trump, it'll say Tek.
Yeah, it'll say Tek.
Tek Towers.
Tek Towers.
There we go.
That's a great plan, man. I was born in Tonga, but I've never been back, so I hella want to go with Tek. That's the plan, is try to go back.
So how long are you planning on going out there for? A couple weeks?
Yeah, but at least 2. Yeah, because I was told I would need at least 2 out there just to do all the paperwork and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Get it all settled. And, yeah.
So how does it work? Every person who is Tongan, who has heritage in Tonga, has land out there.
I really don't.
On this land, or how does that work?
I don't know. My grandpa had the land.
Mm-hmm.
And it went down to my mom, because my mom didn't have any brothers, but she's the oldest.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm the oldest, so it comes down to me. So it always goes down to the oldest, but I don't know how my grandpa, that's something I need to find out, but I don't know how my grandpa came about it, but
I thought everyone got a piece of land just from being there, like the king or something. Like divided lands under people, maybe. I don't know.
Mm.
That's something that we should really look into. I know we all have land out there. I know your family has land, Joe, my family, Tek's family. We should probably look into it.
Are you the oldest, Joe?
Yes, I am the oldest. And on my mom's side, she's like the 3rd youngest. And I think she only has 2 older siblings that are still alive. But, that's my goals is, I want to be able to take my kids out there, and visit some of my aunts and uncles before they pass away, because they're all getting up there in age,
Yeah.
Yeah, let's look into that for the next podcast. Maybe we can have a special guest on to talk about that with us. That'd be good. Maybe we can have Richard come on.
Yeah, that'd be good information for everybody.
Yeah.
I was watching on Instagram, there's a beat writer, his name's Darren Rovell. They had my man suit up and playing a game, and I don't know, but the rules are different. I'm just glad football's still around, but it's just which is interesting. Who's the one that's running it? Is it Vince McMahon?
Yeah, Vince McMahon. Isn't it?
Well, I heard he has nothing to do with it.
Oh,
Oh.
really?
Man, who's?
I think he probably funded the money, but I heard he has nothing to do with it.
Huh. Well, I just know from the XFL, or was it the XFL? A long time ago, where they had the cameramans on the field. That's the freaking NFL copied that, man. They stole it, and that's one thing that I like about why the XFL started. Now we have those awesome angle shots.
Yeah.
But I heard Johnny Football's playing on it.
Johnny Manziel.
Did you guys hear that? Yeah.
Really? Oh, what?
I heard he's going to be like a kicker or something.
Oh, Texas A&M, dude. Didn't he go to Texas A&M? Was he from Texas A&M? Yeah, okay, yeah.
Texas A&M.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Man, that guy had the world in his fingertips, man, and he just couldn't get it together. Same thing with Baker Mayfield.
Yeah.
Expectations, man, they can't live up to them. So if you're not, what do they say? You have to already be a beast when that time comes, right?
Yep. Like Patrick Mahomes.
And that's the one thing I was saying that would lead them, because everything rises and falls on leadership. I'm a big believer of that. That's from John Maxwell. If you guys want to look into some of his books and his writings and teachings. But he goes on, everything rises and falls on leadership. And the reason why I picked the Chiefs is because that dude, he looked possessed. You know, you want to go with the dude that's really super hype.
Yeah, it's also the leadership of the Honey Badger.
Yes, plus that on defense, right?
Yeah, on defense. You know, when their defense was starting to fall apart in the fourth quarter, and after the 49ers scored, they all went to the sideline. He just started to give it to them, you know. And then the next thing you know, they come up, and they did great to end the game, you know. Down 10, forced a 3 and out. Give Patrick Mahomes the ball back, and...
Well, they had like 6 minutes left.
Yeah, 6-7 minutes, 3 touchdowns.
It's amazing, like, how they did it. Like, even after the game, they would talk, and they're like, well, did you guys ever have any doubt? And without a second, you know, to say anything, they're just like, nope, we have Patrick Mahomes. We're good to go. He's like, we were down. He's like, I don't know if anybody realized this, but the last 2 games that we're in, we were down double digits, and we came back and scored 51 points. We were down again against Tennessee. We were down a couple touchdowns. We came back and won. Everyone was like, we believe in this guy so much that even though we were down, we weren't worried about it. We knew that if they scored, it was our job to come get on the field, get a stop. And we knew that if we did, we would win the game. And it's just hard to find leadership like that, you know. I mean, the only person that could compare that to is Tom Brady. You know, when you would see him on the sidelines, he'd be like, let's go, dude. You know, all we need is one more play. And Chiefs are going to be hard to beat, you know, the next few years, because he's got everything you want in a leader.
And how do you guys suggest that we develop a leader like that within ourselves for just our daily life? We're not playing in the NFL, we're not playing any professional sports, but what do you guys think about how do we personally develop that type of mentality and mindset?
Attitude. I also think the way you start your day. The way you start your day was going to result in how the rest of your day is going to be. You know, do you wake up in the morning and just lay there, or do you wake up, or do you wake up in the morning and start playing some rocking music, you know, and get the day going. You know, just the attitude that sets your day in the morning. I think that's where it all starts.
That's what's up.
To become
Absolutely.
I think, yeah, Tek, you're right. But another thing also is, I can't remember the name of the book, but it had asked, it's a book by Tony Robbins, and he asked, I think, 50 or 60 leaders, you know, what is the most important thing for them to do in the mornings? And they said is, you know, as soon as you wake up, you don't lay in bed, you get up and you start, you know, doing something. You know, you do 5 minutes of meditation, you know, 20 minutes of like hit, like the workout hit, like high intensity interval training or something, and you have three goals that you want to accomplish throughout that day. And I used to do the 4 o'clock in the morning thing. It was just too much for me, man. With little kids, I would wake up at 4 in the morning. I would spend 2 hours, doing things, and then I would start my day. But I really do think everything you said, Tech, is right on the money. Just waking up, having goals and things that you want to accomplish, even if you have to break it up, every 2 to 3 hours. There's something that you need to accomplish within those 2 hours, and then you can move on to the next goal.
Yeah.
What do you think, Notis?
Man, I agree with both of what you guys were saying. And also, I think another key part of that, for me personally, is to feed your brain, feed your mind with positive and uplifting things.
That's a great way to start off your day.
Yeah.
That's one of the best ways, man. I think so. Absolutely, Tek.
Wake up and start feeding your brain. Now we'd like to thank our sponsor, OFA Football. A season football training is available for linemen ages 6 to 18 years old. The training will offer comprehensive coaching focused on basic fundamentals and advanced technical skills, among other services. You can find more information about them at ofafootball.org. That's OFFA football.org. And there you can find their social media accounts and more information about them.
Let's go ahead and talk. I mean, like, here it's February, what is the February 9th, Sunday, and we're getting back into the swing of things with our podcast. Some recent shows that we've had, I don't know if you guys were able to listen to some of our shows, but we've had guests like Veronica Pomee, the first Polynesian Sports Illustrated swimsuit model to ever be in the swimsuit model edition. We also had Rachel New. She's a New York City local model.
We also had Tonga on the podcast. He's a sports card collector.
Yeah, and Tonga shared with us a bunch of stuff, like pro tips and stuff on how to an income source out of collecting baseball cards. We've also had Vea Beawa, who is a code person currently working for Credit Karma. He does the DevOps and does coding for that company. He taught us a little bit about. We also had Diamond Longy, Miss Universe New Zealand on. She was on our show recently. And if you'd like to be a guest on our show, please email us at TheEncouragersShow@gmail.com. That's TheEncouragersShow@gmail.com. And we'd love to have you on. Go ahead and include like who you are, what do you do, and Joe here will reach out to you and screen you and make sure that you're okay to come on the show.
Background checks and everything. You gotta make sure you're legit, okay?
Joe is our number one screener. He's in charge of booking all our guests and making sure that they are informed and ready to go on our show. Myself, I just help edit, and Tek is responsible for the music. We got Paul here. He's not currently on. Big shout out to Paul. He is with family at the moment, but he will be on shortly or probably on the next podcast. And we had Coach Will Golfa here on a little bit, and he is with family at this time. But we're just a group of guys. We want to share the information that we've learned over the years with everybody in our community, everybody in our culture, and even outside our community and culture. And that's the number one reason why we started this podcast. We hope it adds value to you.
I would say the one common thing that each of our guests has had that has kind of stuck with me is their mindset towards the goals they're trying to reach. And with each one of them in their specific field, they all want to be the best at it. So they have this personal drive, this desire to not only be good at it, but to be the best. And I kind of try to liken that into what I'm doing in my own life. I want to be the best at what I'm doing as well. So it's been really nice to kind of have it all on there and kind of re-listen to some of the podcasts to kind of just take some of those things in. So shout out to everybody that's been on our podcast.
Big shout out.
Yeah.
And one thing they've done is they've found something they loved, and they stuck with it.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Like Tease. he's been rapping since, man, I'm from Reno, and he's been rapping since he's probably like 11, 10 years old.
Oh, wow.
He's been rapping since he was young.
Yeah.
Him and his brothers were making music back then, and he's still making music.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something that our past guests have done, is found something they love and they stuck with it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we had Veronica on, and sheesh, she wasn't even trying to be a model. She wasn't even trying to be a model, but it just happened to follow through her.
Yeah, but that modeling gig helped her open the gateway to other things like her humanitarian aid and stuff like that. Something that she really liked to do.
Absolutely.
And it's just really cool to see the spotlight kind of moving towards our way, the Polynesians. And exactly what you said, man. I feel the same way. Tek, I'm sorry, bro, but man, has anybody ever told you look like Troy Polamalu, bro? The entire podcast, I'm looking at it and I was like, dude, my man really looks like Troy Polamalu, dog.
Oh, man.
Do you use Head and Shoulders by chance?
Yeah.
What product do you use in your hair?
I do use Head and Shoulders, yeah.
Dude, does it work? It works then.
Yeah, it works.
I don't know. It works for me. I don't think it's made for every single hair, but yeah, it works for me.
Wow.
So Head and Shoulders, if you need somebody out there.
Hey, you gotta plug us now. We got your boy over here, Tek. Plug him.
Real quick, I want to give a shout out to Justin Tapa. He had his first UFC fight last night on UFC 246.
Oh, yes. Great job, Joe.
Man, amazing fight. Just want to give you a shout out.
So how did he win the match? He knocked him out, right?
So the other guy was basically supposed to win, and he came in, and the other guy came in, tried to get him with a hook. He backed up, hit him with the overhand right, popped him. The guy moved back towards the fence. Tapa came in, uppercut, boom, over. One hitter quitter, baby. Oh my gosh, it was an amazing knockout. And the cool thing about it was his his tights, like his pants he was wearing. It kind of almost looked like a lava lava, but it was showing his what's it called, the Samoan tattoo that you get, like the rite of passage type thing. You could see that, and I just thought that was real dope. But he gave a shout out to Mark Hunt, who kind of paved the way for a lot of people who wanted to, do anything from, K1 to anything MMA wise. But yeah, a shout out to you for your great win last night. I hope you're listening to this. We'd love to have you on the show as well. Kind of tell us about, your upbringing in Samoa, moving to Australia, and now you reside in New Zealand. But just big ups to you on your win last night, and can't wait to see more of your fights.
We fight like an animal, kick like a horse.
Hey.
You had to learn that from OG.
Hey, yo, I'm gonna put this as a blooper, bro. This is gonna go on our story, right? Fight like an animal. How do you say that? What'd you say? Oh.
Said we fight like an animal, kick like a horse.
Thank you guys for joining us here on the Encouragers podcast as we gave you guys an update of what's going on with us. Be sure to follow us on our social media accounts. You can find us on Instagram, we're on TikTok, Facebook, and you can listen to our podcast on YouTube. And if you're interested in joining us and kind of talking to us about what it is that you're doing, feel free to give us a email at us at TheEncouragersShow@gmail.com, and we will get back to you as soon as we can.